What we've been talking about is sustainability, which is the preservation of the resources for future generations beyond our present use of, of the resources for our own means. This is an idea that flows all the way back to John Locke, at least, and his idea of the commons and preserving the commons. The commons are those things that we all use, the air, the water, and so forth. But also our children and grandchildren are going to use them, and the future generations of the earth. So we need to be in a stewardship mode in relationship to nature all around us in our use of those resources. The problem is particularly acute now in relationship to hydrocarbons, that is oil, gasoline, natural gas, and coal, in which the burning of those things to produce energy for cars or power plants or whatever produces carbon, which carbon dioxide and carbon, which is found in the atmosphere and produces a warming of the atmosphere. And the warming is a real problem of concern in the this ongoing century because of the melting of the polar caps and a lot of impacts that take place on the Earth. So obviously what we need to do is to develop alternate forms of energy, because we don't want to just drop off and go back into a pre-industrial age where the population is not going to allow us to do that. So we need to develop solar power and wind power and nuclear power and hydroelectric power and geothermal power and tidal power. And you'll notice that I have mentioned a lot of things in that list, plus many others, fusion energy and so forth. And I haven't differentiated as to some of these I'm in favor and some are not favor, because I believe we need to go forward on research and development in all of them until we find the substitutes that can give us the energy we need without the problems of the hydrocarbons. The role of NJIT, I think, is threefold. First of all, it needs to look at itself, do an audit of itself, and make itself more sustainable by following through, starting at the top level of the management of the university and all the way down through all the levels to make itself more sustainable. Take an audit and then correct things that can be corrected. The second thing the university needs to do is to include sustainability in its courses, not just in a few specialized environmental courses, but in many of its courses, because this is an issue that obviously cuts across political science, economics, and lots of other areas of study. And of course, research and development needs to be done here. This is a great research university, and it ought to be working in these new areas. And then last of all, I would suggest that NJIT needs to form partnerships with the local community, the Newark community, and the state in order to help the communities face the issue of sustainability and create a more sustainable future for their populations.